Hey Victoria, we're in the Sky Dragon Center, which is in downtown Hamilton, and it's sort of a collective for nonprofits, right? So that's sort of appropriate because I want to talk to you about, you've been a producer at the CBC in audio production, but now you're doing something a little different with your company. You want to tell us about it?
Well, this dates back, I guess, to some of the audio work I've been doing with a company called Earth Chronicle Productions. We have been doing international development radio series now for 5 or 6 years or so. I think our first one was 1998. It was called More Than Just a Dozen, about women in global development. And I was doing a lot of interviews with people when they came back from being abroad and working with partners in the international development in places like Africa, India, Central America, that kind of thing. And I always thought how great it would have been if they had been able to take an audio recorder and if they'd been able to get sounds of the places where they were and also interviews with their partners in the field so that I could have included those voices instead of sitting and talking in a studio in Ottawa or Toronto or Vancouver. And it was wonderful talking to those people about their experiences, but how much richer and fuller it would have been if we had actually been able to go there with them.
And what was the barrier to entry for them?
The barrier to doing that is, first of all, I don't think that people ever thought that this was anything that they could do. But the other thing was, too, there really weren't the opportunities for them to really use any sound that they brought back. So other than doing a radio piece in 1998, there weren't that many opportunities to use that. So I guess people would think, why would I want to do that? But now that internet has just burst wide open and multimedia on the internet is happening all over the place, I've created a workshop called Bringing the Story Home. And what it is intended to do is to teach NGO workers how to use basic tools so that they can bring back these voices and the sounds and the stories, and also branching into video to bring back the images so that then they can use this and post it on the internet to get out their stories in a different way, and I think in a really lively and evocative way. They're going anyway, so why not bring all this stuff home?
So what's the advantage of somebody to bring the stuff home and to get that stuff up on the web? Why would an NGO do that?
I think it's because you're actually bringing the story to the listeners and the viewers instead of just, you can write something and put it on the internet, but you don't get the feel, you don't get the emotional impact, you don't get the sense of what it's like to be there. One of the things, I've been traveling in the last couple of years because through Earth Chronicle Productions, I've been able to actually go and bring the story home myself. And to be able to go and to actually talk to the people who are being impacted by the international development work, and to get some of the voices of the everyday activity. Even things like, one of my favorite sounds was, I was in Kerala in southern India, and I happened to be on the beach when some fishermen were hauling in their nets, and they were singing, and they were, like, the sound just communicated so much more than me telling you about it.
So how do people find out about the courses, and how long are the courses?
Well, I can do a variety of courses. The first one is an introduction to podcasting and vodcasting, and just exploring the ways that maybe the particular NGO who brought me in for the workshop can be using this. So that's a half-day workshop. I also do a one-day workshop, which is much, much more hands-on, where you actually give the recorders to people and have them try things out. And I do focus mostly on sound, but if someone wanted a video workshop, for example, I would probably work with somebody like yourself to bring you in, because I believe that everybody should work with their own specialties. I'm very good at teaching and organizing people, so I think that harnessing the energy of other people is something that I'm good at as well. So that's why I would hire other people as well as myself. But I can also customize things as well for if an organization says, for example, well, we just want a couple of hours training, we got this gear, we want to learn how to use it. I do private lessons as well. And I also like to emphasize that hands-on is really, really an important part of the teaching process. And even in the half-day workshop, I bring an assortment of audio gear, and I tell people, okay, choose a recorder, choose a microphone, and go interview each other. And then they come back and we listen to it, and they'll go, wow, that sounded really good, or like, ugh, that sounded really awful. So it's like, by working with the tools, you learn how to do it, and by developing a discriminating ear, or in the case of video, a discriminating eye, is, I think, the core of what I do. And learning how to take that knowledge and how to go out there and gather the material in the field so that it will really excite people for the same reasons that the people who are out in the field are excited about their work.
Cool. And how do people learn more?
Well, they can go to my website, which is www.magneticspirits, that's all one word with an S on the end, .com. And my new company is called Sound Out Communications, and that's going to be the more corporate side, I guess, of the work that I'm doing. That website isn't quite ready to go yet, but Magnetic Spirits has the information about bringing the story home.
Great. Thanks, Victoria.
Thank you, Wayne.